guys, this is the second part of the discussion with the effects now of Zane's monsters from the Legendary Dragon deck 2. Hey guys, what's up? This is the second part of the discussion. Last week was of Yugi's cards within the Legendary Dragon deck. Now we'll be going over Zane's monsters. So we will start off with Cyber Dragon. This is a light machine level 5 with 2100 attack and 1600 defense, and its effect is, if only your opponent controls a monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. This is good if you're going second and can make for an easy rank 5 play. This card is Cyber Dragon Core. This is a light machine level 2 with 400 attack and 1500 defense, and its effect is, when this card is normal summoned, add one cyber spell or trap card from your deck to your hand. If your opponent controls a monster and you control no monsters, you can banish this card from your graveyard, special summon one Cyber Dragon monster from your deck. You can only use one Cyber Dragon Core effect per turn, and only once that turn. This card's name becomes Cyber Dragon whilst it's on the field or in the graveyard. This card can help search for a back row card, and can bring out a Cyber Dragon if you don't have any monsters. This enables you to thin your deck, and getting a Cyber Dragon needed to work with other cards. This card is Cyber Dragon 3. This is a light machine level 4 with 1500 attack and 1000 defense, and its effect is, if this card attacks an opponent's monster, it gains 300 attack during the damage step only. Once per turn, you can reveal one spell card in your hand. This card's name becomes Cyber Dragon until the end phase. This card name becomes Cyber Dragon whilst also in the graveyard. This card can make itself a Cyber Dragon, so it can be used as a fusion material, as well as gaining a small attack advantage, enough to face some smaller monsters. The next card is Cyber Dragon 3. This is a light machine level 4 with 1800 attack and 800 defense, and its effect is, when this card is normal summoned, you can make all Cyber Dragons you currently control become level 5. You cannot special summon any monsters during the turn you activate this effect, except machine-type monsters. If this card is banished, you can target one Cyber Dragon you control. It cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effects this turn. This card name becomes Cyber Dragon whilst it is on the field or in the graveyard. This makes an easy Cyber Dragon Nova, enabling you to rank that up into Infinity to be brought out. And it also protects a Cyber Dragon, so if you're facing a back row heavy deck, then you have at least some protection for that turn. The next card is Proto Cyber Dragon. This is a light machine level 3 with 1100 attack and 600 defense, and its effect is, this card's name becomes Cyber Dragon whilst it is on the field. It can also be used as fusion material or to summon a Cyber Laser or Cyber Barrier Dragon. The next card is Cyber Valley. This is a light machine level 1 with 0 attack and 0 defense, and its effect is, you can use one of these effects. When this card is targeted for an attack by an opponent's monster, you can banish this card, draw one card, then end the battle phase. Second effect is, you can target one face-up monster you control, and this card, banish both that target and this card, then draw 2 cards. And its third effect is, you can target one card in your graveyard, banish this card and one card from your hand, then place that target on top of the deck. This is good as it provides you with the option to draw cards or recover from the graveyard, enabling for strategies later on in the game. The next card is Cyber Phoenix. This is a fire machine level 4 with 1200 attack and 1600 defense, and its effect is, while this card is in attack position, negate any spell or trap effects that target exactly one machine-type monster you control and no other cards. When this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can draw one card. This basically protects your Cyber Dragons, and when it's destroyed, enables you to draw a card, so you're basically replacing it with a different card. The next card is Cyber Dinosaur. This is a light machine level 7 with 2500 attack and 1900 defense, and its effect is, when your opponent special summons a monster from their hand, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand. This is good in response to a special summon and enables you to grow your field. It is also useful for making an easy rank 7 summoner. The next card is Cyber Eltonin. This is a light machine level 10 with question mark attack and defense, and its effect is cannot be normal summoned or set, must be special summoned from your hand by banishing all light machine type monsters from your side of the field and your graveyard, and cannot be special summoned by other ways. This card's attack and defense become the number of monsters banished for its special summon times 500. When this card is special summoned, send all other face-up monsters on the field to the graveyard. This can clear your opponent's field if it's played correctly, but it can also be quite risky if your opponent can either negate its effect, as you may not have a backup plan. The next card is Armored Cybern. This is a Wind Machine Union monster with 0 attack and 2000 defense, and its effect is, once per turn, you can either target one Cyber Dragon you control or one fusion monster you control that lists Cyber Dragon as a fusion material monster, equip this card to that target, or unequip this card and special summon it in face-up attack position. Once per turn, while equipped to a monster by this effect, you can target one face-up monster on the field. The equipped monster loses exactly 1000 attack, and if it does, destroy that target. A monster can only be equipped with one union monster at a time. If the equipped monster would be destroyed, destroy this card instead. This can be used to remove a problematic monster, but can only be used twice if you consider using it with a normal Cyber Dragon. And by reducing the attack points, it would require some form of protection. The next card is Machina Fortress. This is an Earth Machine level 7 with 2500 attack and 1600 defense. And its effect is, you can discard machine-type monsters whose total levels equal 8 or more, then special summon this card from your hand or graveyard. If this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, target one card your opponent controls, destroy that target. Before resolving an opponent's monster effect that targets this face-up card, look at your opponent's hand and discard one card from their hand. This card has an easy summoning condition, as well as being able to destroy a monster and discard a card from the opponent's hand, and because it can recover from either the hand or the graveyard, means it's quite recyclable. The next card is Cyber Repair Plant. This is a normal spell card that says, if Cyber Dragon is in your graveyard, you can activate one of these effects. If you have 3 or more Cyber Dragons in your graveyard at activation, you can activate both effects and resolve in sequence. You can only activate one Cyber Repair Plant per turn. Add one light machine type monster from your deck to your hand, or target one light machine type monster in your graveyard, shuffle that target into your deck. This card enables you to search and recover a. The next card is Cybernetic Fusion Support. This is a quick play spell card that says, pay half your life points once. If you fusion summon a machine type fusion monster this turn, you can banish monsters from your hand, graveyard, and or your side of the field as the fusion materials. You can only activate one Cybernetic Fusion Support per turn. This card enables you to fusion summon from areas which you can't always access with regular fusion cards, meaning in longer duels where your Cyber Dragons are everywhere, you have access to them. The next card is Evolution Burst. This is a normal spell card that says, if you control a Cyber Dragon, target one card your opponent controls, destroy that target. Cyber Dragons cannot attack the turn you activate this card. This can be useful if your opponent has a card you can't get rid of normally. The next card is Power Bond. This is a normal spell card that says, fusion summon one machine type fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or your side of the field as fusion materials, and it gains attack equal to its original attack. During the end phase of the turn this card is activated, you take damage equal to the amount of attack gained from this effect at the time of the summon. This is good for finishing off your opponent, especially if you have either a Cyber End Dragon or Cyber Twin Dragon, as they become 8000 attack and 5000 attack respectively. Though the downside is, if you cannot finish your opponent this turn, you take their original attack as damage, for example 4000 or 2800 with the said examples. The next card is Overload Fusion. This is a normal spell card and says banish from your side of the field or your graveyard the fusion material monsters that are listed on a Dark Machine type fusion monster card. Then special summon that fusion monster from your extra deck. This special summon is treated as a fusion summon. This can be used to bring out Chimera Tech Overdragon, who can become very strong, especially when paired with a Future Fusion, which can dump a load of Cyber Dragon cards to the graveyard, boosting this card's attack. The next card is Future Fusion. This is a continuous spell card that says, during your first standby phase after this card's activation, show one fusion monster in your extra deck and send the fusion materials listed on it from your main deck to the graveyard. During your second standby phase after this card's activation, fusion summon one fusion monster from your extra deck with the same name as the monster you showed, and target it with this card. When this card leaves the field, destroy that target. When that target is destroyed, destroy this card. This card has had an errata. Its sending effect would have happened on the same turn, making it easier to set up for additional plays until you got your fusion monster out, but with these restrictions, it makes it too slow for real use. The next card is Limiter Removal. This is a quick play spell card that says double the attack of all machine-type monsters you currently control until the end of this turn. During the end phase of this turn, destroy those monsters. This is good to finish off your opponent, as if you can do this, then your monsters won't have the downside of being destroyed by its negative effect. The next card is Machina Armored Unit. This is a continuous spell card that says once per turn, when a machine-type monster is destroyed by battle and sent to your graveyard, you can special summon one machine-type monster from your deck that has the same attribute and less attack than the destroyed monster in the graveyard. This helps you to bring out some other monsters and search through your deck faster whilst keeping field presence. The next card is Cyber Network. This is a continuous trap card that says destroy this card during your third standby phase. After activation, once per turn, if Cyber Dragon is on the field, you can banish one light machine type monster from your deck. When this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, special summon as many of your banished light machine type monsters as possible, and if you do, destroy all spell and trap cards you control. Monsters that were special summoned by this effect cannot activate their effects. You cannot conduct your battle phase the turn you activate this effect. This card acts like a more restrictive soul charge, as it can only work when this card is destroyed, and unless your opponent intends on doing so, you will have to wait 3 turns to use this effect. The benefit of this waiting is you can guarantee banishing 3 monsters and plan your strategy accordingly around this, and enable you to bring out the Cyber Dragon Infinity. The next card is Cyber Shadow Gardener. This is a continuous trap card that says activate only during your opponent's main phase. After activation, special summon this card. It is treated as an effect monster, machine type, earth, level 4 with a question mark attack and defense. This card is still treated as a trap card. If this card is selected as an attack target, the attack and defense of this card become the attack and defense of the attacking monster. This card is set in its spell and trap card zone during your opponent's end phase. This card can destroy itself and your opponent's monster, which can be useful if that monster took a lot of resources to bring out. The next card is Chimera Tech Mega Fleet Dragon. This is a level 10 Dark Machine Fusion effect monster with 0 attack and 0 defense. It requires 1 Cyber Dragon and 1 or more monsters in the extra monster zone. Its effect is cannot be used as fusion material, must first be special summoned from your extra deck by sending the above cards from either field to the graveyard. You do not use polymerization. The original attack of this card becomes 1200 times the number of fusion materials used for its fusion special summon. This is a strong removal card to start off with. Being able to remove your opponent's extra deck monsters means if they have built up their boards with links and other monsters, you can take advantage of this by sending them away. This card will typically become a 2400 attack monster if you can play it correctly. The next card is Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon. This is a Dark Machine Fusion level 5 monster with 2100 attack and 1600 defense, and it requires 2 or more Cyber Dragon monsters, and its effect is a fusion summon of this card can only be done with the above fusion materials. When this card is fusion summoned, you can target spell and trap cards on the field up to the number of fusion materials used for its fusion summon. Destroy them. Once per turn, you can send up to 2 light machine-type monsters from your deck to the graveyard, and if you do, for each monster sent to the graveyard, this card gains 1 additional attack during each battle phase this turn. This card is useful as you can remove spell and trap cards from your opponent's field, and means you can remove problematic cards before you have to deal with them. The other effect to attack multiple times means you can deal a lot of damage, and by sending the machine types to the graveyard, you can access these cards by card effects such as Call of the Horde. The next card is Chimera Tech Overdragon. This is a Dark Machine Fusion level 9 with question mark attack and defense. It requires a Cyber Dragon and 1 or more machine type monsters. Its effect is must be fusion summoned and cannot be special summoned by other ways. When this card is fusion summoned, send all other cards you control to the graveyard. The original attack and defense of this card each become equal to the number of fusion material monsters used for its fusion summon times 800. This card can attack your opponent's monsters a number of times equal to the number of fusion material monsters used for its fusion summon. This card can become easily 4800 or more attack, and should, if played correctly, be able to wipe out your opponent's life points, especially if they are running multiple summoning-based cards or floating effects. The next card is Cyber Twin Dragon. This is a light machine fusion level 8 with 2800 attack and 2100 defense, and it requires 2 Cyber Dragons. Its effect is a fusion summon of this card can only be done with the above fusion material monsters. This card can make a second attack during each battle phase. This can do a lot of damage and remove monsters very easily. The next card is Cyber End Dragon. This is a light machine fusion level 10 with 4000 attack and 2800 defense, and it requires 3 Cyber Dragons, and its effect is a fusion summon of this card can only be done with the above fusion material monsters. If this card attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage to your opponent. This can cause a lot of damage, and paired with the right cards can further that damage. The next card is Cyber Dragon Nova. This is a light machine Xyz, rank 5 with 2100 attack and 1600 defense, and it requires 2 level 5 monsters. Its effect is, once per turn, you can detach 1 Xyz material from this card, then target 1 Cyber Dragon in your graveyard, special summon that target. Once per turn during either player's turn, you can banish 1 Cyber Dragon from your hand or face up from your monster zone. This card gains 2100 attack until the end of this turn. If this card is in your possession is sent to your graveyard by your opponent's card effect, you can special summon 1 machine type fusion monster from your extra deck. This card can bring out another Cyber Dragon as well as increase its attack to the level to beat most monsters, and when removed from the field by a card effect, enables the summon of a fusion monster so it can replace itself with something better. The next card is Cyber Dragon Infinity. This is a light machine Xyz, rank 6 with 2100 attack and 1600 defense, and it requires 3 level 6 light machine type monsters. Its effect is, once per turn, you can also Xyz summon Cyber Dragon Infinity by using the Cyber Dragon Nova you control as the Xyz material. Xyz materials attached to that monster also become Xyz materials on this card. This card gains 200 attack for each Xyz material attached to it. Once per turn, you can target 1 face-up attack position monster on the field, attach it to this card as a face-up Xyz material. Once per turn during either player's turn, when a card or effect is activated, you can detach 1 Xyz material from this card, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. This is the newest Cyber Dragon to be released, and the most useful as it can increase its attack, steal an opponent's monster, provided it's in attack position, so even stronger monsters can be removed, and help to refuel its negation effect, and it can prevent a card effect from working. So that is it for Zane's deck. Which cards are you most looking forward to, and which don't you really like? And I don't understand two things. Firstly, why is there only one Proto Cyber Dragon? I mean, it's not that good, but they could have at least put two in there. And the second, where is my Cyber Laser Dragon and my Cyber Barrier Dragon? If you are going to give us new support, then please, Konami, bring back the old. These two cards may be less useful, but personally, I love them. Leave your comments down below, like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe, click the bell for notifications, and as always, thank you for taking the time to watch this video.
Some things will never change. The lonely, lonely, simply free is my life.